What's up, YouTube? Alright, so this is going to be a video response to, 15 Minutes with Bon Scott. Excuse me. And he was the lead singer of AC/DC, my favorite band that ever lived. And if you're going to ask why, when did AC/DC become my favorite band? They became my favorite band when I was 16. I listened to the song For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. That became my favorite AC/DC song. And that was back in 1977, back when this interview took place, and it was just a little bit about 5 or 6 months after Star Wars came out, roughly 5, because it came out at the end of May. This was at the beginning of November. It was in London, England, where this interview took place.
Well, he was a difficult man to find in Australia when they're out there recording, and he was pretty difficult.
I don't understand why he said Australia, because it says it says November 1st, 1977, Countdown ABC, AC/DC, interview with Bon Scott, London, England. Excuse me. And my mom always asked, why is the band Australian if everyone but one member was born in Australia? It's because the band started in Australia. The band The Beatles started in Liverpool, and all of them were from Liverpool. Here we go.
Fine. Well, he was a difficult man to find in Australia when they're out there recording, and he was pretty difficult to find here. But welcome to the program, Bon Scott, AC/DC.
Oh, thank you, Ian.
Now, in fact, the last time I saw you was when we did the 100 show over here. When you
Yeah,
went out
right,
to your
yeah.
Halifax studio.
Uh-huh.
That was a good day, wasn't it?
Well, it took so long to get the show together. It was a really good day because the bar was open the whole time.
Yes, that's right. Yes, when we were at the bar. But listen, seriously, what are you doing at the moment? What is the group doing? You've just come back from America.
Yeah, well, we're doing an English tour at the moment.
Yeah.
The last gig.
So they're in an English tour. Bon Scott became the band lead singer after they dismissed that guy. I forgot his name. Dave Evans. Dave Evans replaced Dave Evans because Dave Evans was more of a glam rocker. Bon Scott was like a rock and roll kind of guy, and then Brian Johnson's more of a hard rock kind of guy.
It's about 3 days at Great Yarmouth. I suppose you've all heard of Great Yarmouth. And we just finished.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
No, good place.
Oh, well, let me tell you about Great Yarmouth.
Oh, no, let's not.
Carry on, huh?
Right, keep going.
Okay. Just finished the European tour and spent 7 weeks in America. So we really are getting around.
Right, well, let's go back, about a year ago, when I was over here doing interviews and that. And at that stage, in the music papers especially, like Sounds, NME.
There is something I want to say. A lot of people don't like the interviewer because they said, yeah, they would say the interviewer is an idiot. He just doesn't get it or something like that because he talked a lot and they said you can tell Bon Scott was annoyed with the interviewer because he talks so much and barely let Bon talk, but he talked a lot in this interview.
Melody Maker.
And they said it's more like 15 minutes with the interviewer.
You were never out of the papers, right? There was always a story about you.
Yeah.
You were filling out the marquee every night, and you were sort of what most people termed as the first of the punk bands to emerge. Now, since then, the Sex Pistols.
The one who got me into AC/DC actually was my brother-in-law. My two favorite songs by them are For Those About to Rock, We Salute You, and Who Made Who. I'll listen to that music a lot. Who Made Who is definitely one of the best AC/DC songs I've ever listened to. I saw them sing For Those About to Rock live because I was right. That's where I got the poster, is when I went to go see them live. I'm not going to tell you where. Although you do know that I live in Washington, but I bought that when they were on the Black Ice tour.
Pistols and so on and so on, and now you've got, you know, Every Man and His Dog, with, you know, similar names, that term themselves as punk rock bands or a new wave band. You've been away, you've been to America, you've broken into the American chart, and I've got my hand over the mic again. You've been away, you've been
Shouldn't have the mic down there,
I know. You've been away, you've been you've made the American charts, you were very big in Europe. What does it feel like now to come back with all of this new wave sort of going crazy in England? And are you pulling crowds still?
Well, we're pulling bigger crowds than they are, you know.
Yeah?
I mean, we've got our following here. It's not new wave and it's not punk. It's just people that like our band, our rock band, you know. And like we honestly thought that the punk and the new wave thing might sort of spoil a bit for us, but it hasn't at all, you know.
Yeah.
It was a big fad, like it's just like anything else, a big fad for a while, and there's those that are still hanging on to it. But the main thing about it is that it gives rock music a real kick in the guts, you know.
Yeah.
And we sort of, even though we started the whole thing over here, like we played here before the Sex Pistols were even sort of, you know, thought of.
Yeah.
And now we've always been there, and people are beginning to realise that now they want more than just someone up there screaming, you know, anarchy and rape and this sort of, you know, crap, you know. And we're it. Yeah. We're doing it right.
Now, the thing is that you've always been a very tight rock and roll band, but for some reason, you've concentrated a lot on the live performances, especially in England.
That's all there is.
But there's never been a really definite single released on the English market, or there's been some confusion about it.
There was something I wanted to say before this. The first song I ever listened to by AC/DC, not ABC. Accidentally almost said ABC. AC/DC was Thunderstruck, but the second song, I don't know why. I thought For Those About to Rock, We Salute You sounded cool. And then I was always going to listen to it, but then I just didn't. I just said, no. One time, I finally hit the play button, just started sitting down, started to listen to it, instantly fell in love with it. I mean, my favorite songs on that album were For Those About to Rock, We Salute You, and Who Made Who, and then there was Hell's Bells. Even though I'm an AC/DC fan and I like the songs, I don't support Hell. I'm a Christian. I just listen to AC/DC. And I listened to the Pretty Reckless, and they said, heaven knows we belong way down below. I mean, you can listen to that kind of music. Listening to cool music is not a sin. God would forgive you always. I became an AC/DC fan. It was like, in the For Those About to Rock, We Salute You album, my favorite was that one, was For Those About to Rock, We Salute You, Night of the Long Knives, and something else, like, I think it was called, let me think. Put the Finger on You, something like that, yeah.
The singer, why is this?
Well, singles for a start.
And I might add, just before you answer that, because I want you to answer another one, there's a little bit of confusion of what's happening in Australia with your singles too.
Okay, I wonder why he's asking that question, because listen to this, dude. Listen to this, Barry.
You've concentrated a lot on the live performances, especially in England.
That's all there is.
But there's never been a really definite single released on the English market, or there's been some confusion about the single. Why is that?
Well, singles for a start.
And I might add, just before you answer that, because I want you to answer another one, there's a little bit of...
Why would you interrupt someone if he's asking a question?
Confusion of what's happening in Australia with your singles too. So could you clear it all up, Bob?
Okay, now we'll start with England, you know?
Right.
Now, singles bands over here, or bands that release singles that take off, without already having established a road following, are going to suffer the same effects as has Sherbet, you know? Yeah, they had a big record over here, and their English tour consisted of one gig, you know? because no slant on them, but they're a record band, you know, and they had no road following, so no one comes to see their shows, you know.
Mm.
So we have the following. If we release a single here now, it would do really well. Excuse me, and we'll also have our following, you know.
Well, why isn't there a single release now? Or, you know...
Well, we don't write singles, you know. We don't write singles.
Of course you do.
We have done in the past, but we don't write something, you know, specifically for a single.
Mm.
No way. You know?
But it's common for any group to bring out a single.
We're an album band. We're a road album band. You know, singles don't mean a pinch to anybody, you know, in our band. There's no sense in them. Like if some station picks it up, like the BBC, which they probably never would, you know.
Yeah.
Then it might get played and it might you know, make the charts, but there's no way we do it intentionally to make a single.
Well, does the same go for Australia?
No, Australia's a different market altogether.
Mm.
You know? And there, if there's a likely single on an album, it'll be released as a single, but over here the album's the main thing, you know.
Mm.
And if a station picks it,
Excuse me. Yeah, they had a lot of albums, to be honest. AC/DC had a lot of albums back in the day. They have like AC/DC Live, Black Ice, Back in Black, High Voltage, The Razor's Edge, Power Rage, Ball Breaker, Fly on the Wall, Live at River Plate or something like that. I think that was the one that came out just recently. It came out in 2012. TNT, Black Tracks, Bonfire, Blow Up Your Video, Highway to Hell, Reunion in Dallas, Plug Me In, Rock and Roll, or Burst, or Bust. That might be the one they made. But yeah, they've written a lot of albums, but you got High Voltage in Australia, TNT in Australia, and that's when Bon Scott was still with the band, yeah. And then International was High Voltage, and then you got Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, Let There Be Rock, Power Rage, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You, Flick on the Switch, Fly on the Wall, Blow Up Your Video, The Razor's Edge, Ball Breaker, Stiff Upper Lip, Black Ice, Rocker Burst, Jailbreak, If You Want Blood, You've Got It, AC/DC Live, AC/DC Collector's Agent, Live at the River Plate. They got Who Made Who and Iron Man 2, which was another one. Bonfire, Black Tracks. These are box set albums and all that. And I mean, For Those About to Rock, We Salute You became my favorite song when I listened to it when I was 16. And, you know, I saw a movie called Wild Hogs. This is off the topic of the interview, but that's how that's because I like the AC/DC shirt he had, and then my sister got me an AC/DC shirt, and then I showed AJ, and he said, "Hey, you got one." And I love AC/DC. One time, someone said, "Look at the shirt you're wearing." I looked down, and he said, "It's the AC/DC. They were famous 20 years ago." You know, they've still been living on because AC/DC is one of the top, most hard rock bands of all time. My friend would make fun of me saying AC/DC does sound the same in every song. They kind of do, but his favorite band was Kiss. That's my third favorite band. But AC/DC sold more records than Kiss did.
a track that they sort of like to play a lot, it'll sell the album, not the single.
Yeah. Now, with Mark leaving the group, how's the new member fitted in?
Oh, it fits quite nicely, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
Did he alter the band in any way, the sound or anything like that?
Well, he's a guy who's been playing for a lot longer than Mark ever played. Like, you know, Mark played with us for 2 years. Probably been playing bass for about 3, whereas Cliff has been playing for about 12 years.
Yeah.
And so his technique is sort of far, I'd say, advanced, you know, to what Mark's was, or Mark.
And what he was saying about Cliff, right here.
Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
Did he alter the band in any way, the sound or anything like that?
Well, he's a guy who's been playing for a lot longer than Mark ever played. Like, you know, Mark played with us for 2 years. Probably been playing bass for about 3, whereas Cliff has been playing for about 12 years.
Yeah.
Cliff Williams just retired, actually. Cliff Williams is no longer with the band. He retired. His last show at AC/DC was in September 21st, 2016 is what it looks like. Something like that. But he retired. Cliff Williams was with AC/DC since 1977. That's when the interview was. And then he retired in September just last year. 4 months ago. And it made sense he would want to retire. He's 67 years old. And he was with AC/DC for a very long time. He went in 1977, so he was with the band for... He was with the band for 39 years. Whew, that's a while.
Yeah.
And so his technique is sort of far, I'd say, advanced, you know, to what Marx was, although Marx for the rock stuff was cool, you know. Cliff's just given us more scope. Like there's more you can do with the music. In between the guitars, like Angus, more Malcolm and Cliff. I think could be done.
Malcolm retired also. Malcolm retired due to a stroke. So the one who took over for Malcolm was Stevie, his nephew.
Before.
Now, you've always, since you've been away, you've always gone back to Australia to record. Why is that? And I believe you're going back again to record.
Well, you know, it sort of coincides a few things, like holidays, you see your mum and dad, you know, and all your mates, and George and Harry are there, and the studios are there, and they know the studios like the back of their hand, you know. And it's just been a perfect setup. And we can spend unlimited time in the studio. It's all there. There's no need to go anywhere else, because like if we went to say Miami, for instance, you know, we'd have to hotel it and have to buy a studio time, like you might get 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day or whatever, you know, which is quite expensive, you know. There's just no point in it.
Part 2 coming up.
Right now, you're really big on the European side, especially on the live touring side. Can you tell us a bit about the European market as far as AC/DC are concerned?
The European market, they're really quite strange over there. They're a lot of freaks over there. You know, they're sort of not punk, and they're not terribly young.
It's about to say you might feel at home if there are a lot of freaks going on. Sorry.
Oh, you find a few, you know, on the street after the show in the gutter.
Right.
But they're the sort of, it's really hard to say, but they're more...
Are they an emotional audience or
freak,
what?
Yeah, emotional.
Ready to rock, you know?
Probably more so than the rest of the world.
Yeah.
They're crazy, because like European bands don't play rock music. And if they do play it, they don't play it well, you know? So the only rock they get is from England, America, and now Australia.
Right, now let's look at 4 countries, right? You've got the USA, which you're about to leave for and do an extensive touring side. You've got the European market, you've got the British market, and you've got the Australian market. Does the band change at all, or you just play the same thing for every market and use the same approach?
Exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no need to change. I mean, we're what we are,
Yeah.
and we ain't going to change for nobody, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just... But it doesn't, like, you could put them all in one room and you couldn't tell one from the next. Like, they're just the same the world over, you know?
Well, what do you think will be the next single in Australia? Let There Be Rock?
Isn't it there yet? Isn't that the single?
I don't know, is it?
No.
Well, it's certainly not out.
Hang on. A Voice from Heaven says yes.
A Voice from
Let There Be
Heaven?
Rock.
Right, now what about an album?
We recorded an album last time we were back there. As yet, it's not finished. We've got a few things we've thought about it and changed a few things. There's a live album probably coming out soon. It's taken from concerts in Glasgow, My Music Bowl.
You know, there are songs that Brian Johnson, actually, that just came to my attention just a second ago. Brian Johnson would sing a lot of the songs that he would sing. And even Brian said it's still hard for him to sing Bond songs because Bond had a beautiful voice, is what he said. Now, I want to say something about Bon Scott. He was a great singer. I prefer Brian Johnson because I came to AC/DC when I was 16, but still, Bond's song, the ones I like better by Bond are Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. It was amazing the way he sung that. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, Highway to Hell, and TNT. Yeah, I love all three of those. My favorite song he sung was TNT. That's like my third favorite AC/DC song.
There was one recorded in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. There's about 4 in all, you know? And that might be sort of put into a live album, like the best of the full concert.
Right, now tell us about your American plans.
Yeah, we're going back there in a couple of weeks to tour with Kiss, supporting Kiss, and a band called Rush, you might know.
I've heard about Rush, and I know Kiss. I've heard one song by Rush that's called Limite or something, or Limate, and then there was Kiss, of course. My favorite song by Kiss is like Love Gun. I like Detroit Rock City. I like the album Sonic Boom. I like Russian Roulette, Modern Day Delilah, and all those others. I'm a fan of Kiss.
I heard it out there, you
No.
know? And we're doing about 12 dates with those bands, and a few of our own, and some co-headlining with a band called UFO.
Right.
There was a band called The Answer. It's an Irish band that opened up for AC/DC when I saw them live. They were a great band. They were great. My head's getting a little bit cold.
You know,
Now just on the Kiss tour, right? Have you seen Kiss perform yet, live?
Yeah, I saw him in London last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this part, Bon Scott flipped off the interviewer. A lot of people don't like the interviewer, and some people said he was an asshole, and some people called him a wanker.
Well,
Quite spectacular.
yeah, well, I mean, there's going to be an amazing contrast between yourselves and obviously Kiss. Both very visual.
Well, yeah. See, the guy that what's his name? Tell me the bass player's name from Kiss.
I don't know.
No? Carl, tell me the bass player's name from Kiss. He's a popular guy to me.
Carl?
He came along to our show or one of our shows in the Whiskey in Hollywood to see us play, you know. And he come up to us and said, look, I think your band, and we're touring in December, and we'd like you to tour with us, you know. And they played to 80,000 people.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're huge.
So
Yeah, he might have been talking about Gene Simmons. And that was back then. I mean, he was with the band for a while. Gene Simmons was in and out, and I think he's still with Kiss, because what happened was, let me see. I heard that Paul Stanley, the guy who leads Kiss, wasn't really a nice guy. I know someone who met him, but Gene Simmons, they said, was nice. He was with Kiss from, let me see. He was with Kiss in the 1970s, and then I heard he left after that. And then he came back. Because I think he left Kiss. At one point. I heard he just came back to Kiss later. So that must have been Gene Simmons he was talking about.
Sure, you should be quite amazing.
Now, are you on the songwriting side? Have you written many songs of late? I mean, the band and yourself, or?
Well, we haven't written. Like it's, while we're touring, you're sort of compiling all your ideas and
Yeah.
things you rip off from here and there around the countryside, and I've got pages of stuff, and out of it might come 3 or 4 good ideas for songs. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, 33-1.
Right, with all that's happening, I mean, have you had much chance to group yourself to write many songs over the last, say, 3 or 4 months?
No, we did about 10 last time back in Australia. But, and I wrote the words to 2 songs about on the last tour on the road, and got back home and found out there was the same titles and almost the same lyrics as somebody else's.
Did you?
And I was really pleased with them too. I thought, oh, that was great. Yeah.
So, I mean, like, what is going to happen over the next 6 months then? Apart from, like, you were in America, will you be coming back to England during that time, or what?
No, well, going to America for a month until Christmas.
Right.
Back to Australia for about, well, till probably the start of March.
Mm.
Record, do a few dates, like Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, and other places. And get a bit of sun.
Mm.
Be nice for a change.
And how's Angus going? How did Angus go over with, I mean, like, this time last year, the papers were going crazy and, talking about this.
Yeah, there was someone who said, he complained that AC/DC was old. He said, "You didn't tell me they were old. Is it over yet?" And one guy said, "You little shit. You're the luckiest son of a bitch ever. You're lucky I didn't get up and strangle you. You just insulted the best rock band ever." And one girl I knew said she would have beaten the shit out of that little kid for disrespecting AC/DC.
Great little guitarist. It's good, so full of energy. How did he go in America?
Oh, they couldn't believe it in America.
Yeah.
No. I like the Americans are mad. Anything new, they really go crazy for it, And although like only the rich people over there can afford to send their kids to schools where they have uniforms, like the novelty of it was just overwhelmed them, and the energy the band puts out, they couldn't believe it, because the band's getting more, just
Now,
more
how many
and more
gigs did
rocky.
you do in America?
About 28.
And how did you go?
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah. Just did a few blow-offs here and there.
Yeah.
It's good.
And how did the music press over there? Did you read any reviews or anything?
Yeah, many good reviews. Yeah. I don't think I read one bad one actually. They it's just that I see over there it's pretty laid back, and the band comes along that rocks its ass off, man, and you're right in there, and they just love you.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop.
Now, when you come back, you're doing some recording, right,
Mm-hmm.
in the studios. Are you finishing off an album, or?
Well, the tracks we've done for the last album, we're going to clean a few of them up, just sort of make them help, because we've had a tape, and we've listened to the tape on and off over the last 5 months, and we sussed out a few things and how to sort of make the songs better, And any new ideas we get as well, we'll put them down.
Why was the approach last time you were back, that time that you were recording, to sort of almost stay low profile as far as television and all of that was concerned, and the press?
Yeah, we did this. We've been working non-stop since the band started. 8 months before I joined the band.
Yeah.
And you just got to have a break, And so the main thing about being back there last time was to actually write the songs, record them, break in the new bass player to the way of the band. That's why we only played 1 or 2 gigs back there, both at the Bondi Lifesaver. Just got to have a break occasionally.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on Countdown again.
It's all right.
And
No worries, Ian. They still call you Ian, do they?
yeah, well, Molly. And we wish you the best of luck in America.
Thank you.
And it's good to see that the album is really starting to break in, into the top 200. What is it? They're around about the 150 mark.
150 with an arrow.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Not quite as fast as the Bullet.
That's the bullet. All right, well, best of luck, and we'll look forward to seeing you come home and doing some tour dates.
Looking forward to getting back there.
Take care, Bon.
See ya.
Thanks, man.
And people said Bon kind of put his middle finger up when the interviewer asked about Kiss, and then they said the interviewer was a super wanker. And some people said something about him. I even commented saying it was Molly Meldrum, and I don't know who that is. I mean, I've heard of him from many other people who and he's from Australia. He's an interviewer. Yeah, he interviewed Bon Scott. Alright. And he's 73 now. He also reviewed AC/DC in Australia, I think, when Brian joined the band. I guess. Well, thank you all for watching. Stay up to date and subscribe. Peace out. And I'll post the link in the description to this video, to these videos. Peace.